So today's topic is about how just generally being a human being is really tough. And today is one of those days where you don't know what to do next. I mean, you know what to do, but everything's kind of on you and on your ass, trying to bring you down. And you just feel really overwhelmed, and it's a terrible day, man. It's been a terrible day. It wasn't only like packed to the brim with like tasks and events, but also it was a day where everything kind of blew up at once, and I don't know what to do next, which is fine because, well, a person can do only so much in one day, To give a short summary of what happened, both of my friend groups started arguing or kind of getting into fights with each other, and one of them is going through some like allegations related drama, and there's no telling what's actually going on or what's going to happen because, well, everyone's just attacking each other and no one's listening, and it's a really messy situation. And the problem is I'm like a little too involved, I guess, if you were to like really dig in. Hopefully it blows over without too much happening, but I'm prepared for a lot of questions, and I've made quite a few mistakes this past year, but it wasn't out of, let's say, malicious intent. It was just stupidity and getting swept up in my emotions. So I suppose what this kind of points to is that emotions and the way you've been raised, what you've experienced, it kind of gives you a mandatory, like involuntary, like impulse to do really stupid things that you regret. And well, I wish I could go back in time and change some things. I could have done all this way better with the lessons I've learned in today's context. But I guess you have to fail to learn. But it gets scary when that failure could really badly like fuck you up. They say failure is the key to success, but some things, like some wrong choices, like essentially some failures, you don't even get to learn. You're just fucked from there on out, I guess. So that's pretty harsh. God, my head hurts. Today, also what happened is, well, there was a lot of stuff. There was a job interview. There's 2 interviews in one day. I got loads of shit I need to do in the next week, basically, or just 2. I gotta study hard for IELTS and compile a list of colleges that I'm trying to apply to and try to get a scholarship, or else, money is tight. I'm very unsure, like really unsure of the future and what it'll bring, but I hope I'm going into the right subject, unlike before where I didn't really enjoy studying it and thought I was wasting my time. Other than that, with everything going on, it's hard to focus, but I gotta put all this other shit aside and on what's really in priority right now. which is, IELTS and college apps. I know time is ticking, but if I just get a few things straight, I can make it work. If this year's deadlines are passed already, then I guess I'll just have to go next year. And I also want to get my content going. I decided to start simple and, start streaming. I put a little bit too much pressure on myself trying to formulate the perfect plan, and I end up not doing anything because I'm too overwhelmed by the pressures I put on myself. It's good to plan, but it's not good to plan for a whole year straight and get nothing done at the end. That is a terrible plan. And so I gotta balance that plan with everything else, and that is pretty overwhelming, to be completely honest. As if I hadn't witnessed enough today. Well, it was cold as fuck. That's one thing. Like negative 26. It's basically negative 30 now, which is... it's rough. It's rough, but I mean, okay, I lived through November, December, so I'm all right with that. I was in the bus today, and there's some weird people staring at me from the window, and then I look over, and it's my high school crush, and my classmate. Why did I have to run into them today out of every other day I could have run into them? Man, I just got reminded of all the shit I was like going through in high school. And I mean, times have changed, but it's a pain from the past that I didn't think I would feel today, on top of everything. I really hope she doesn't see this video, because this will be really awkward next time I see her. I haven't spoken to her like 3 years, basically, ever since high school ended, because, she rejected me because I wanted to date her at the time, and I didn't exactly take that well, because that was my first attempt at romance in all my 12 years of high school, basically. So yeah, that didn't end very well. I was just so indecisive. I had no idea what to do, because we were in the same class, and being friends, hey, it's kind of, I couldn't really move on from my feelings. So it was awkward both when we were friends or if we weren't. I mean, I could manage. I could not care about the pain I was feeling at the time. But, eventually it gets kind of hard pretending. And this is embarrassing. It was a messy situation on my end, and I probably annoyed the shit out of her. Don't tell anyone I said this, but I did help her cheat on an exam, and she didn't say thank you, nor did she say goodbye. So that kind of pissed me off at the end of high school, and that's why I never talked to her until today, through sign language, through a fucking window. Life is weird, man. So yeah, I had no room to think about this too much as of now. I don't even know what to think of it. I mean, hey, I shot her a text message. She might reply, she might not. If she doesn't, then, less to worry about for me, I guess. If she does, that's great. Sure. I got home and, I don't know. I was trying to get some plans in order, but I was just too overwhelmed, so I didn't really do anything after I got home. And then all of a sudden I get invited to a VC, and my other friend group is also going through some dramas. So basically, one of them has there is some shit going on, and well, I guess people have bad days, and they argued, I guess. There's one of them said a bunch of harsh words jokingly, and the other didn't take it well, and then now he's gone. It's also related to girls and stuff, so go figure. I guess I'll just take the red pill and start blaming women for everything. So yeah, being a human is tough, and today is just a rant video. I got so much to learn, so much to manage. I'm trying to go into psychology, so I hope I learn a lot from that. I myself have been going through a really, really rough year, or 5 years actually. I haven't been really feeling happy for quite a long time, and only recently have I kind of stabilized myself after years of kind of reflecting and trying to understand myself. It just really gets tiring, and sometimes you realize you're floating through these moments without ever realizing that you're not even paying attention to what you're doing or where you are or what you want. Easy to hate yourself for not doing everything right, but I'm just so tired, and as I said earlier, one guy can only do so much in one day, so I can't quit while I'm at it. So I'm gonna have to follow it through this year. I'm gonna try my best to get my goals in order, accomplish my goals and make sure everything goes right. But, when it's time to rest, you gotta rest. And you gotta remember that you're just one guy. And you've been through a lot, even though people don't see that straight away. Only you can kind of understand what you've been through, really. I mean, some people understand, but, you can't depend on one person for everything. Sometimes you just gotta console yourself on days like this. And you just gotta sleep. It's 10:30 p.m. and if I stay up any longer, I might go crazy. That's how I'm managing all these things happening right now around me. It's easy to fall during these times, but you gotta make the hard choice to just go to sleep and call it a day. If it was me a year or two ago, I would have probably tried to suppress all these feelings with whatever the fuck, doom scrolling or gooning or whatever. Yeah, I was a gooner at one point. What teenager was not? That's besides the point. Anyways, so yeah, that was an honest video. I'll upload more on days to come. I'll try to condense it to 1 or 2 topics, and I'll just kind of just let my mind spill onto this channel and see who relates. Sometimes I don't even know when I got to this point. All I remember is playing with Legos and watching Minecraft videos. Now I'm 20 years old and I don't know. I gotta go to sleep. Comment down below what you think of this video. And subscribe if you want more content like this.